these countries. Last time I went with 450 businessmen in the same plane and all the premiers of the provinces together. We look like a team, and they pay attention to having so many people. You know, a lot of the problems are being resolved. They just want to sign deals. And then,
it's not a big office.
Madeline, come back. Come on, Sandy. You defected to Canada.
Thank you very much.
That happens since the Vietnam War.
Next will be the American food.
Sandy Archer.
je vais lui demander. Il est là, c'est lui qui y a. Good morning. I have to be careful with that.
Just go and get it.
Good morning, everybody. I'm delighted to have the Prime Minister here, and we're just about to start a conversation about NATO expansion, which is something of importance to both of us, and about some trade issues and a number of other matters. And we have a lot of good agreements that we're going to have signed during this trip, so we're excited about that. And we're going to have a press conference afterwards, so we'll be able to answer questions about it.
Jesse Helms called the convention or the chemical weapons convention today destructive, defective, and dangerous. The hearing is not off to a good start.
Well, I know he's not for it. All I want to do is try to get it on the floor of the Senate and persuade 2/3 of the senators to be for it. I think it's obvious that it's the right thing to do for the world and critical for America's leadership that we do it. I do not believe that all those military leaders who were here with us earlier this week and the Republican leaders, including Senator Cassabaum Baker and former Secretary of State Jim Baker, would do something that was dangerous for America. I think it's critically important for America. If we don't ratify it, then the rest of the world will be compelled to treat us like they treat the rogue states, and it will just basically to ostracize us and impose the trade sanctions on our chemical companies. And we'll deserve it if we don't ratify it, because we won't be good citizens in the world.
Will you speak with Senator Helms between now and then?
Yeah, we're working with him. We've worked hard with him, and we've worked through a lot of his objections, and we'll keep working. But I'm going to focus hard on trying to not only to persuade him, but we had to have 67 votes. We've got to get it out of the committee, and then we've got to have 67 votes. That's what we got to do. We're going to try to do it.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Any further words?
No, I don't have anything to add to what I said yesterday. We had a long, thorough, very frank conversation. I want these parties to do what they have to do to get this process up and going again. We've got to have an atmosphere of zero tolerance for terror, but we also have to have the kind of confidence building necessary to make peace. And
What about
he's got some good ideas, and I think we have some good ideas, and we want to talk to the Palestinians this week and see if we can get this going again. But the parties have got to do what it takes to get it going, and I think if we work together, we can do it.
Did you ask him to stop building?
I don't want to say any more about what I did or didn't say.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Merci beaucoup.
Thank you.
The incident in Hebron? Well, all those things are troubling, but the main thing is we can't let them get in the way of moving the path toward peace forward. That's the ultimate resolution of all these things. We just got to keep going.
Thank you.
They have to decide they're going to keep going. We've got to do it.
Next will be the Canadian pool.
Yeah, I've got all the Canadians in here.
Mr. President.
Just a minute. Let's let everyone get in, please. Let me say again how pleased I am to have the Prime Minister here. We're going to have a chance to talk about our mutual interest in NATO expansion in Bosnia and Haiti, and a number of bilateral issues between us. And of course, we're going to have some good agreements signed on this trip. So I think this will be a very useful and productive trip. I know it will be for me, and I hope it will be for the Prime Minister and for Canada. And again, I want to welcome you.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here, and I think it's going to be a very good meeting. You know, our relations are, you know, in terms of trade, for example, the biggest in the world. And when we look at it, we managed to solve most of the problem in a very nice way. And I hope that if the world were to work the way that Canada and United States managed to work together, you know, there will be more prosperity around the world. So we have to keep setting the example, but we have to talk to each other to achieve it.
Mr. President, what about the issue of Helms-Burton? Do you think there's any common ground to be found there?
Well, I think we have a difference of opinion. I think the real issue is how we manage our differences right now. And we'll talk about that. China, I mean, the Cuba issue is a difficult issue, but Canada has had a very solid position on human rights generally. And we just have a different approach here. We'll try to find a way to manage our differences. I think that's the best way we can do it.
Mr. President, how unusual is it for you to invite a leader from another country to an unscheduled meeting the night before the scheduled meeting?
Well, fairly unusual, but we're friends, and besides that, I owed him a golf match, which I now cannot provide, you know. So I thought since we couldn't play golf together, we ought to visit and talk about golf and other things together.
Monsieur Chrétien, qu'allez-vous dire au président à propos de Helms-Burton?
Que nous sommes en désaccord, il le sait, il vient de le dire. Notre politique vis-à-vis Cuba est différente de la leur, mais ce n'est pas nouveau, ça existe depuis très longtemps. Et nous croyons que la meilleure façon de régler le problème avec Cuba et la démocratie à Cuba, c'est d'ouvrir, d'avoir des relations normales avec eux. C'est la meilleure façon d'avoir la démocratie pour réétablir la démocratie. Ben, ils ne partagent pas notre point de vue. C'est naturel qu'on puisse avoir des désaccords sans qu'on soit des ennemis pour autant.
Prime Minister, is there a reason why you didn't want people to know about your first visit to the White House last night?
But, you know, you were, so I did not hide. He called me, he says, come and have coffee with me. And I went. But he didn't invite you, but Moscovich was there with his crew, and they filmed that, and I waved at them. I didn't hide anything. You were not there. Where were you?
I was looking for you, sir.
Good.
It wasn't his fault.
Yeah, but I was not in a bar downtown. You were the wrong place.
Whoa! It was unscheduled, you see.
Have you rescheduled the golf game?
Well, I have about a minimum of 4 months and probably a couple of more weeks before I can play golf. So it's a long way away.
Can you tell us, Mr. Prime Minister, what you talked about last night apart from golf?
Oh, we talk about a lot of things. We talk about our relations, and as I mentioned earlier, you know, that we have managed to resolve most of the difficulties. When we started, we had 5% our trade involved in dispute, and now it's down to 1%. And the fact that we have managed to talk to each other and have very good relations, and because we know, we believe, and we discuss that the growth in the world will come if we have more free trade around the world. And we're talking about the progress in APEC. I will be the host of APEC in November. And we're talking about the expansion of free trade in the Americas, as we decided, I think, in December 94 to 95? No, 94. 94, you know, and now we hope that they will be able to proceed quickly with the fast track. Because when we met at that time, we had a goal to have to resume with them. We have signed a bilateral agreement with them. And look at free trade between the two of us. You know, 45% increase in the trade between Canada and the United States. So we look at that and we're both benefiting from that. And we want, and when we look at Asia, we know that this is the market of tomorrow. Imagine, you know, more than 200 million people in China and India next door and so on. If they start to become consumers, they will buy a lot of goods and services from America, and I hope proportionally more from Canada. But it's fair competition.
Keep in mind, we'll have a press conference later too.
We want